Hi, this is Ann, and we've had a wonderful day. And today, what I'd like to talk about is I'd like to cover, um, you know, um, about the apparitions of our Blessed Mother. And so I like to cover Our Lady of Lourdes, Our Lady of Guadalupe, Our Lady of Fatima. But I think what I'm going to do, in order to better, explain everything, is I'm going to do, like for instance, in this particular video, I like to talk about Our Lady of Lourdes and Saint Bernadette, and like I said, she's way beyond a saint. And so I'm going to read the article. My daughter Rose is nice enough to let me borrow her tablet, so I can give you the information. And so let's go ahead and do this. And then I'm going to show you a little bit of a surprise. We got out today after my husband came home. He got off early, and we went out, and we had quite a surprise today. So I want to share that with you after we read about our beautiful Lady of Lourdes and our beautiful Saint Bernadette. Our Lady of Lourdes and Saint Bernadette. I am the Immaculate Conception. It is more than 150 years since the birth of Bernadette Soubirous, the peasant girl whose visions led to the founding of the shrine at Lourdes, France, in the foothills of the French Pyrenees. Nowadays, 4 illuminated basilicas dominate the landscape. There are torchlight processions every day, and the shops are full of statuettes and relics. 5 million pilgrims or religious tourists visit every year. At the time of her vision, Bernadette was 14 years old and barely literate, and had to look after her younger brothers or her mother went out cleaning. On February 11, 1858, while Bernadette was out collecting wood with her sister Toinette and her friend Jean, they came to a place where the mill stream joined the shallow river by a grotto at Massabielle. The other girls waded through the water, crying because it made their feet too cold. As Bernadette, a sickly, asthmatic girl, held back, she heard what she described as a roar. Later she reported, I raised my head and looked towards the grotto. I saw a lady dressed in white, wearing a white dress, a blue girdle, a yellow rose on each foot, the same color as the chain of her rosary. The beads of her rosary were white. The vision was praying the rosary. Bernadette took out her beads and did the same. The lady beckoned, but when the girl dared not approach, she vanished. Toinette and Jean saw nothing, and at first Bernadette did not tell them that she had seen, but they got the story out of her and told her parents. The Soubirous family would not allow her to visit the grotto again, but the girl told her priest, Father Pomien, about the vision, and he discussed it with the parish priest of Lourdes, Father Paramale. Okay, a vision called Aquero. On February 14th, a Sunday, Madame Soubirous relented. Bernadette took a bottle of holy water to the grotto and knelt down to say her rosary. The lady appeared again. Bernadette said, I started throwing holy water at her and told her if she came from God to stay, and if not, to go. The vision smiled and bowed her head, and as Bernadette was frightened, Our Lady disappeared. On the 18th, Bernadette returned once more, this time with 2 adults, Madame Malott and Antoinette Perel, who advised me to take paper and ink and ask her if she had anything to say to me, to be so good as to write it down. The lady appeared and said what she had to say need not be written down, and asked Bernadette if she would come each day for a fortnight. Bernadette began to refer to the vision as aquero, which simply means it, and said that the lady spoke in the Lourdes dialect, sweet and gentle, and not in French. On the third visit, Aquero said, "I do not promise to make you happy in this world, but in the other." According to Bernadette, between February 19th and March 4th, the vision appeared every day except one Monday and one Friday. She told me several times that I should tell the priest that a chapel should be built there, and I should pray for the conversion of sinners. She gave me 3 secrets which she forbade me to tell anyone. Bernadette's account caused mixed reactions. The local police inspector interrogated her and tried to muddle her testimony, but could not. His notes of the interview have been preserved. Some of the villagers were angry at him and threatened to break down the door if he would not release the girl. Our Lady told Bernadette to drink from the spring, a little muddy water that appeared from beneath the rock. Bernadette said, "I threw it away 3 times because it was so dirty, but the 4th time I was able to drink it." The public prosecutor, the Tutor, tried to rig Bernadette's account, but again local men hammered on his door, and trembling he let the girl and her mother go. Later Bernadette said, "There was something in me that enabled me to rise above everything. I was tackled from all sides, but nothing mattered, and I was not afraid." I am the Immaculate Conception. At 5 o'clock on the morning of March 25th, the feast of the Annunciation of the Virgin Mary, Bernadette felt compelled to go again to the grotto. The lady was already there. With her 2 arms hanging down, she raised her eyes, looked up at the sky, and it was then she told me, joining her hands together, now at the height of her breast, that she was the Immaculate Conception. Those were the last words she ever said to me. 4 years before these events, Pope Pius IX had proclaimed the dogma of the Immaculate Conception. For centuries, this doctrine that the Virgin Mary had been conceived and born without the taint of original sin had been a pious belief among the ordinary people, but the proclamation of 1854 made it part of the Church's official teaching. Controversy surrounded the event, and it is possible that Bernadette had heard angry words flying about in the devout village. But Father Paramel was convinced by Bernadette's story and became her strong supporter. On June 3rd, the feast of Corpus Christi, Bernadette made her first communion. By the 16th, when Bernadette returned to the grotto, fences had been put up around it, and she was obliged to say her rosary from a distance. When questioned, she said, "I saw nothing but the Blessed Virgin." In 1862, a series of interrogations by bishops began. They were impressed by her simplicity, candor, and modesty, the wisdom of her answers, her calm imagination, and common sense above her age. To skeptics, Bernadette replied, "I have been told to tell you about it. I have not been told to make you believe it." The visions authenticated. Lourdes quickly became a popular shrine, and visitors tried to shower Bernadette with money, to steal a relic from her, or to cut off a piece of her hood or her dress as a souvenir. She complained of the adulation and said it tired her. Hundreds of letters were addressed to her. She prayed for her senders and asked them to pray for her in return. In 1862, the bishops of Tarbes authenticated the visions, and the hard-pressed Bernadette applied to join the St. Bernard nuns at Anglet, but was turned down because they did not want her to be run over by pilgrims and tourists. 4 things told against her vocation: poverty, fame, poor education, and lifelong bad health. In March of 1862, Bernadette became very ill, and she was given the last rites. She recovered to nurse old people in the hospice at Lourdes. In April of 1866, she succeeded in becoming a postulant at Nevers. On her first day, she was ordered to recount her visions to the whole community and then never speak of them again. "I have come here to hide," she declared. She carried with her 3 small stones, of which she said, "These are my companions whom I love." On them she had written the words Lourdes, the Grotto, and Nevers' Mother House. In July, she received the habit and became known as Sister Marie Bernard, but in October she was so ill she was again given the last rites. Once more she defied death and was later put in charge of the hospital. In June of 1873, she was given the last rites for the 3rd time. Yet again she recovered, and this time she was appointed assistant sacristan, the person who kept the chapel clean and in order. But from April of 1875, she was a complete invalid, and on April 16, 1879, she died at 3 in the afternoon, the same hour of Christ's death on the cross. The sufferings of Bernadette. What apart from this bare chronology can we know about Bernadette Soubirous? One thing is certain: she strove with all her might to fulfill the vocation announced to her by the Virgin at Massa Bael, to do penance, to pray and suffer for sinners, and she did suffer. The Mother Superior at Nevers testified it took her an hour to find a bearable position, during which her face changed and she became as if dead. Even when asleep, the faintest movement of her leg made her cry out. Such sharp cries that her companions in the dormitory could not sleep. She shrank to nothing. In fact, she had tuberculosis. Bernadette did not enjoy suffering, though she spoke of it as my job, and she once says, "I prayed to St. Bernard, but I do not imitate him. St. Bernard likes suffering, but I avoid it if I can." Apart from her physical pain, she bore such personal grief. Her mother died early at 41. Her sister Toinette's first child, also named Bernadette, died in February of 1871, to be followed by her father a month later. In fact, all 5 of Toinette's babies died, and Bernadette wrote to her, "I like to imagine that dear little group praying in heaven for us, poor exiles on this miserable earth." Bernadette suffered too from the interrogations of the religious historians who try to make her offer elaborate theological explanations for her visions. But she replied, "It is best for people to speak and write very simply. It is more moving to read the Passion than to have it explained." In the last stages of her final illness, she requested to be left only with the crucifix sent to her by Pope Pius IX. When she became too weak to hold it, she had it fastened to her breast. After her death, she was first beatified in 1925 and then canonized as Saint Bernadette in 1933. Her feast day is February 18th. Is there anything truer or more beautiful, anything more desperately needed in our own violent times, than the heartfelt desire to pray for the forgiveness and the salvation of others, as well as for ourselves, and to follow the intuitive, undefeated sense and hope in all of us that love and tenderness are the immaculate things in a sullied world. It is not out of place to describe the longing as a vision of the Mother of God. The beauty of Lourdes today. Lourdes is justly regarded as the most important place of Catholic pilgrimage in the world after the Holy Land and Rome. It comprises 4 magnificent basilicas and the grotto marking the exact spot where Our Lady appeared to Bernadette. In an awe-inspiring and unforgettable experience for the pilgrim or visitor to join one of the torchlight processions which begin at the grotto and lead to the Rosary Square, where the sick are blessed in the name of the Holy Mother. Traditionally, there are 4 gifts of Lourdes: the gift of miraculous water, the gift of healing, the gift of reconciliation, and the gift of strength and friendship. I would like to say the gift of our most beautiful Blessed Mother and Saint Bernadette. And she's, like I said, beyond a saint. In 1866, the first Mass was offered at the grotto, and on the Feast of the Assumption in 1871, the newly built Church of the Immaculate Conception was blessed. The following year saw the first national pilgrimage with flags and banners and torchlight procession. In 1873, the Assumption Fathers organized a much larger pilgrimage, and a year later the first visitors came from abroad, particularly from Belgium and the USA. The statue of Our Lady of Lourdes was crowned in 1876, and the second of 4 great basilicas, the Church of the Rosary, was opened in 1889. On March 25, 1958, the centenary of the apparitions, the Basilica of St. Pius X was consecrated. There have been 5,000 cures which have taken place. 65 of these cures have been officially designated miraculous by the Church. Wonderfully moving is the nightly procession of the Holy Rosary. The Feast of Our Lady of Lourdes is February 11th. And I'm going to tell you, if you go to Amazon, you can purchase, if you can't go to Lourdes, France yourself, and for a person like myself, it would be a bit difficult because I can't fly a plane at this point. You can order a bottle of Lourdes water. The water comes from Lourdes, France, our beautiful Lady of Lourdes, and Saint Bernadette. And like I said, she's beyond a saint. And you can get the beautiful holy water, the healing water of Lourdes. We bought some ourselves, and we're very thankful, extremely thankful to have, the Lourdes water. We also have a beautiful statue of Our Lady of Lourdes. We showed you our beautiful statue of Our Lady of Lourdes when we did the chapel tour in one of our earlier videos. And she's absolutely beautiful. Saint Bernadette, she's absolutely beautiful. This is the first of, one of the apparitions of our Blessed Mother. Later on, I like to talk more about Our Lady Guadalupe and, of course, Our Lady of Fatima. But what I do want to do right now is to show you what happened was, I mentioned that our husband came home early today, and he got off pretty early. And as you know, usually, it's the weekend. This is the 4th of July. 4th of July weekend. So people are very happy. A lot of people are off for the next 3-4 days. Beginning of the month, here pretty soon, people get paid. So everybody's excited. I could tell everybody is like very excited and very happy today. But what happened was we needed to pick up some cat food. And I'm thankful that we're able to go to a military base to purchase the cat food. And so, since my husband, he retired from the military, and he retired from, it was Army. He was in the Army. So they have, at least 2-3 post exchanges on post, and the post is, we're probably about 20-25 minutes away from the post, and so we're very thankful to be able to go there. So what happened was we were going to pick up some cat food for our 2 cats, and when you go in there, they have like a food court, and they also have some vendors. They have like a barber shop in there. They have like an eyeglass place. They have other little stores on the side. It's almost like a little small mini mall, except it's inside. And so, Rose and I, we wanted to go in, and Rose was looking for a case. So at the PX, so we all decided to go together. And when we walked in to the door, Jack went ahead and left us. He pulled by the curb so we wouldn't have to walk too far. And they have scooters over there, so it helps out. But when we came in there, there was a man there. His name is Jack, and he had like this giant table, and it was filled with items, religious items, and these religious items were made out of olive wood, and they were from Jerusalem. They were from Israel. And so, naturally, I've never been to the Holy Land. I've never been to Israel. Love to go, but like I said, we don't fly a plane, and we'd have to find some way, take a ship or something. It would cost a little. It would cost a bit. Plus, too, it's just, the time factor, and so, it's of course there's things going on right now. But of course, as a Catholic Christian, pretty much, we, most Christians, we would, and people of many, besides being Christian, you have people like you have the Judaism, and if you're a Muslim, and if you're Christian, you have the three large religions that come out of the Bible, and so naturally as Christians, we're in the Old Testament and in the New Testament, and if you practice Judaism, and if you're a Muslim, then you're coming out of the Old Testament. So a lot of people want to go visit, Israel, the Holy Land, so, but anyway, so we came in, and the man's name is Jack, and he had like 3-4 tables filled with beautiful religious statues, plaques, rosaries. He had just crucifixes. He had special things from, everything came from, the whole, mainly, I guess, most of the items came from, the Holy Land. It came from either Jerusalem or Bethlehem, and some of the holy oils and things that he had, water. But I'm going to show you what we got. So I'm very, very excited. You see the bag here, and we just got back a little while ago, and so I'd like to show you. I haven't taken anything out of the boxes yet, and so first, there's a little soft bag in here, but anyway, okay. First, we got this beautiful, it's made out of olive wood, and it's a let me make sure I got this right. It's a olive wood wall rosary, but basically it's a family or home rosary. And I'll tell you what it says here at the bottom. It says, "This is to certify that this rosary was handmade in Bethlehem, the place where our Lord Jesus was born by local Christian craftsmen. The rosary is a symbol that identifies Christian people in this world. Holy Land malachite stone is placed under the metal crucifix." So let me open this up. I haven't opened anything up yet. I'm very excited. And I want to show you this beautiful olive wood rosary. And it's very, very large. And let me open here so I'm going to be able to show you everything. And the middle part of the rosary, you have our beautiful Holy Family. It's heart-shaped. And then in the front it says, "God bless our home." And this is all olive wood. And then you have Jesus on the cross. On the back it says, "Jerusalem." And you have these really big beads. It's just incredible. This is all made out of olive wood. I would say olive wood. And it's like a black string here. It's just every. He had a few of these, and they were all different colors because it goes. Each one of these are handmade, hand carved in Israel, and so they're just absolutely beautiful. I'm just so thankful. We're so thankful to be able to get this beautiful, beautiful family rosary. It's just incredible. And then my husband saw it, my daughter and I saw it as well. And what this is, it says Jerusalem, Bethlehem. Comes in a box, and it says here. Let me see what it says right here. They got different languages here, so let me look at here. Okay. "This is to certify that this sacred object contains pure water from the Jordan River, genuine earth from Jerusalem, virgin olive oil from Bethlehem, frankincense, and olive wood cross from the Holy Land." And it's a certificate of authenticity. And on the back, they have the Holy Land olive wood cross. And it shows our Blessed Mother and the Stations of the Cross. And it says the Holy Feasts in the Holy Land. And let me open this up here. I'm just like really excited because, you know, Jesus was baptized in the River Jordan. And so, I mean, this is, I mentioned to, you know, Jack and I mentioned to Jack and to my daughter Rose that that we're gonna put on this holy water on our foreheads tonight, because it's very special. It's let me see if I can open this up here. See if this box will be nice to me here. Oh, okay, the card comes out. I didn't know that. There's a card that comes out, and they show. Let me take a look here. My eyes are not the best. So let me take a quick look. Okay, they're showing, I believe, I keep thinking, this might be the Holy Sepulchre in Jerusalem. There's a picture there, which I did not expect. This is a real special surprise here. And then we have the bottles. Each bottle here, I believe that's a holy water. There's a holy oil. Here's the cross. I believe this is the dirt. And I'm going to take a guess. I believe this is the frankincense. So I'm not going to lie to you. I'm really, really thankful to get these items because, like I said, the fact that they come from the Holy Land is, you know, it's just really, really exciting. And the man, you know, the salesperson, Jack, he was born in Bethlehem. He was raised in Bethlehem. And then, from what I understand, my husband Jack, his name's Jack. There's two Jacks. My husband Jack, he talked with him while Rose and I were in the store. And he found out that, you know, he grew up in Bethlehem and then came here to the U.S. And I believe he lives in New Jersey now. But I'm assuming he's more than likely got family probably back in Israel, which is really, really great. I mean, it's just like, it's just so neat. It's just, you know, as a Christian, I mean, this is like really, really special. And I'm just very, very thankful. There's a beautiful picture of our Blessed Mother, baby Jesus right there. So, anyway, I want to thank you guys for listening to us. We pray you have a blessed night. God bless you. We love you. And we'll see you soon.